Hello, hope so you are doing well. Today we are going to start with law of demand. So let's begin. So what is the law of demand? Before going to that, let's recall what is demand. What is demand? Demand for a commodity refers to the quantities of a commodity which consumers are willing and able to purchase at various possible prices during a particular period of time. So demand. But before that, can you tell me what is the meaning of this term law? When I say that we should follow the law made by the government. Now, over here, law refers to what? Refers to the rules and regulations set by the government, right? So, डिमांड का भी वैसे ही कुछ नियम है, कुछ लॉ है, कुछ रूल्स है. Let's know what. The law of demand states that all other things being equal, the quantity bought of a good or service is a function of price. Definitely, whatever we demand, it's related to a price. Okay. In my previous video, I had given you an example that let's suppose I like a t-shirt. I will buy that t-shirt when the price is up to 500. I will not buy it if the price exceeds 500. Okay. Let's say it increased to 700. I will not buy that shirt. The reason is that it's out of my budget. Budget के बाहर इसलिए मैं नहीं खरीदूंगी, right? So इसका मतलब क्या? Demand is related to price. So all other things being equal, we are referring to the determinants of demand being constant other than the price. Okay. Now this relation holds true when all other things being equal. So economists use a term for this particular statement, that is ceteris paribus, which is very important. So ceteris paribus refers to what? All other things being equal. इस पर्टिकुलर चीज के लिए हम एक लैटिन टर्म यूज करते हैं जिसको कहा जाता है ceteris paribus. I hope so that is clear to you. Moving ahead, so this means people will buy less when its price rises. जब प्राइस बढ़ता है डिमांड कम हो जाता है. They will buy more when its price falls. प्राइस कम होने पर we start demanding it more. Demand increase होता है. Now we are going to learn about two types of demand. First is elastic demand. Now can you tell me what is the meaning of elastic? We call those things elastic which are stretchable, right? Similarly, in elastic demand, what happens when there is change in price? If the amount bought changes with that, changes a lot, that time we call it as elastic demand. Let's take an example. Buying an orange. मुझे orange पसंद है और मुझे इसको लेना है. If the price rises, price increases, what will I do? I will switch to some other fruit. मैं कोई और फ्रूट ले लूंगी, राइट? सो इसका मतलब क्या है कि मैं अपने डिमांड को स्ट्रेच कर सकती हूँ. आई कैन स्ट्रेच माई डिमांड. आई एम नॉट लिमिटेड टू ओनली वन थिंग. I can stretch it. I can buy something else. But when it cannot be done, when I can't stretch it, I need to buy that particular thing. At that time, we call it inelastic demand. If the quantity doesn't change much when the price does, that's called inelastic demand. Let's say gasoline. Let's say medicine. So these are something. Even if the price rise, I can't stretch my demand, right? I have to buy. That is necessity. राइट. ये गैस का प्राइस या दवाइयों का प्राइस अगर वो इंक्रीज होता है तो हमें खरीदना होगा क्योंकि वो नेसेसिटी है, उसको हम स्विच नहीं कर सकते, राइट. मूविंग अहेड, डिमांड फंक्शन एंड डिमांड शेड्यूल. ओके, लेट्स नो वन बाय वन व्हाट इज डिमांड फंक्शन. Demand function shows the relationship between quantity demanded for a particular commodity and the factors that are influencing it. So, what happens in demand function? If I buy something, okay, and if I buy a commodity and it has been affected by other factors of demand, other determinants of demand, we show that using the demand function. Okay, demand function basically show करता है हमें कि कैसे डिमांड का जो अदर डिटर्मिनेंट्स है वो कैसे हमारे कोमोडिटी को इफेक्ट कर रहा है, उस चीज को हम डिमांड फंक्शन से जान पाते हैं. लेट्स गो टू डिमांड शेड्यूल. Demand schedule is a table showing different quantities being demanded of a given commodity at various level of price. Schedule means what? हम schedule कब बनाए? In office, people who work they make a schedule of their day. That is, they are going to do this thing at this time. They have meeting. They are going to conduct a meeting at this time. So basically, they are listing up what are they going to do at what time in a particular day. Similarly, in demand schedule, we make a list of a commodity, of a particular commodity, how the demand of that particular commodity changes with change in the price. ये डिमांड शेड्यूल में हम क्या बनाते हैं, एक लिस्ट बनाते हैं जहाँ पर हम ये बताते हैं कि प्राइस के साथ डिमांड कितना चेंज हो रहा है एक पर्टिकुलर कोमोडिटी का. ओके, मेनली देयर आर टू टाइप. जैसे डिमांड आर ऑफ टू टाइप, इंडिविजुअल डिमांड, मार्केट डिमांड. सिमिलरली वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी दिस बोथ over here also. So first is individual demand function. Refers to the functional relationship between individual demand and the factors affecting the individual demand. किसी अकेले एक का डिमांड कैसे इफेक्ट हो रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ द अदर फैक्टर्स ऑफ द डिमांड, वी गेट टू नो इट बाय इंडिविजुअल डिमांड फंक्शन. क्लियर? Similarly, individual demand schedule. So it refers to a table that shows various quantities of a commodity that consumer is willing to purchase at different prices during a given period of time. So over here, how a particular individual's demand changes with change in price for a particular commodity, we make a schedule of that. किसी एक इंसान का शेड्यूल हम वैसे बनाते हैं. Let's take an example over here. Let's say orange. Orange. Okay. So let's say price was 10 rupees. So I demanded 5 oranges. When it increased to 15, I started buying 3. When it decreased to say 5 rupees, I started buying 10. So this is my individual demand schedule. This is my individual demand schedule. Next is market demand function. Market demand function refers to the functional relationship between market demand and the factors affecting the market demand. Definitely, what are the other factors which are affecting not just an individual's demand but others' demand as well? We know that using the market demand function. Similarly, market demand schedule is what? How uh, how price of a particular commodity affects the demand of other people, not just an individual but other people as well. We understand that using market demand schedule. So basically it is sum of all individual demand schedules at each and every price. Okay, moving ahead. For demand function we use this particular formula, that is DNF PM P1 uh, dot Pn minus 1 by T E y bar G. Okay, let's know one by one. What is D over here? Dn is demand for the N commodity. N commodity, let the N commodity be orange. So how we will get to know about the demand of this orange. ओके, सो डिमांड डीएन क्या है? डिमांड ऑफ एन कमोडिटी. एन कमोडिटी जो भी आपकी मर्जी, जो आप कमोडिटी लेना उसका डिमांड. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज एफ. एफ इज द फंक्शनल रिलेशनशिप ऑफ प्राइस एंड डिमांड. ओके, प्राइस एंड डिमांड, एंड इट शोज द how these factors affect the demand. Okay, so next is pn. P is the price of the n commodity. P क्या है? किस चीज का प्राइस है? जिस कमोडिटी को हम कंसीडर कर रहे हैं. देन P1 डॉट 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 Pn minus 1 indicates the price of all other commodities. Okay, of all other commodities which can affect the price, which can affect the demand of that particular in commodity. Right? Y is the income, T is the test, E is for the expectation. Change in quantity demanded and movement along the demand curve. Very important. Let's know. So the change in quantity demanded due to change in price of the commodity is known as movement along the demand curve. If there is some changes in the demand curve because there is change in price, we see some changes along the demand curve. क्लियर? अगर डिमांड में कोई चेंजेस आ रहा है जस्ट बिकॉज उसका प्राइस चेंज हो रहा है एक कोमोडिटी का, तो हम डिमांड कर्व के ऊपर ही चेंजेस देख पाएंगे. मेनली इट्स ऑफ टू टाइप: expansion in demand and contraction in demand. Expansion in demand, by the term you itself you can understand that something is increasing, and contraction means something is decreasing. Let's know what, clearly know. Okay. Expansion in demand, the rise in quantity demanded due to the falling price of the commodity is known as expansion in demand. Okay. Okay. Next is contraction in demand. So the fall in quantity demanded due to the rise in price of the commodity is known as contraction in demand. Very obvious. The price of the quantity increases, then there will be then the demand will decrease. Definitely. Both follow the law of demand. Definitely. So as I have shown you in the graph, it's a downward movement along a given curve. ये क्या है? नीचे की तरफ move करता है. And of course, it's an upward movement along a given demand curve. Let's see. This is my graph. Okay. So let's say this is my price and this is my quantity demanded. Good. Now, when the demand was this, say price P naught, my quantity demanded was this. Nice. Okay. Let's first know if the price decreases. If the price decreases to this, let's say P1 here, my quantity demanded will be this. So you can logically see here is that first area of my demand curve was this, right? Was this. Later on, it increased to this, within this and this portion as well. So there is expansion, area बढ़ रहा है. So downward movement, expansion. Clear? Now let's say price increased this. So what will happen? This is say Q2 and this is P2. So first my graph was this area. Now it reduced to this. So you can see that the area decreased. क्या है? स्पेस कम हो गया. इसका मतलब अपवर्ड मूवमेंट हो रहा है, जिससे क्या है, हम कहते हैं अपवर्ड मूवमेंट हो रहा है, तो उसको हम कहते हैं कॉन्ट्रैक्शन इन डिमांड बिकॉज माय डिमांड डिक्रीजेस. Okay, and it happens when we go upward, and demand increases, expand when we go downward. Clear? So this is contraction in demand and this is expansion in demand. I hope so this is clear to you. Moving ahead. Next we are going to study about causes of downward sloping demand curve, जो अभी हमने पढ़ा. तो वो क्यों होता है? There are lot of reasons. Let's know one by one. Income effect. Income effect से क्या होता है? A change in demand curve, a, a change in demand on account of change in real income resulting from change in the price of a commodity known as income effect. Okay, मेरे रियल इनकम में जो चेंजेस आ रहा है उसकी वजह से मेरे कोमोडिटी की डिमांड में क्या इफेक्ट पड़ रहा है, वो हम कहते हैं इनकम इफेक्ट. लेट्स नो विद एन एग्जांपल कि फॉर एन इंस्टेंट फॉल इन द प्राइस ऑफ राइस, ही विल बाय मोर ऑफ इट बट एट द सेम टाइम ही विल इंक्रीज द डिमांड फॉर अदर कोमोडिटीज, एंड इफ द प्राइस ऑफ राइस इंक्रीजेस ही विल रिड्यूस इट्स डिमांड. ये सब क्या है? ओके, लेट्स नो दिस. लेट्स से आई बाय राइस. ओके, लेट्स से 100 rupees per kg. Clear? Now the price reduced to 60. Now after spending all on my household thing and other things, I save, let's say I am saving 500 rupees. I have to pay 40 rupees less. So my real income increases. That is, now I am saving 540 rupees. That's great. No? So either I can save this money or I will demand some other commodity as well. So basically, this is what we call as income effect. इज दिस क्लियर? सो पहले जब मैं राइस खरीद रही थी 100 रुपए पर केजी, जब उसका डिक्रीज हो गया प्राइस 60 में, तो मेरा 40 रुपीज का मेरा बचत हो रहा है। ऑलरेडी मुझे 500 में सेव कर पाती थी बाकी खर्चों में से निकाल कर, तो इसका मतलब अब मेरे पास 540 रुपीज सेव हो रहा है। अब ये इससे जो पैसे बचे या तो मैं उसको सेव कर सकती हूँ या किसी और चीज को खरीदने में उसको लगा सकती हूँ। सो दिस इज व्हाट यू कॉल एज इनकम इफेक्ट। बट if the price rises, let's say price increased from 100 to 200, okay, so what will happen? I will decrease my demand, okay, उस टाइम मैं डिमांड डिक्रीज कर दूंगी, ऑफ कोर्स मैं दूसरे चीज से ले नहीं पाऊंगी, मैं अपना डिमांड डिक्रीज कर दूंगी, राइट? दिस इज व्हाट यू कॉल एज इनकम इफेक्ट। नेक्स्ट इज the income effect of a change in the price of an ordinary commodity being positive. The demand curve slopes downward. Why positive slope? Because when I say that my real income increases, my demand also increases. Both are in same direction, that is why we call it positive. Moving ahead, the substitution effect shows the effect that a change in price and relative prices of substitute goods has on the quantity demanded. Let's say let's say price of Coke rises, but say Pepsi has fallen in relation to that of Coke. यानी प्राइस और कोक एक दूसरे का सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड है, एक दूसरे को चेंज कर सकते हैं, ओके? They being the substitute good, if the price of Pepsi, like Pepsi price remains unchanged, पेप्सी का जो प्राइस है उसमें कोई चेंजेस नहीं आ रही, पर कोक का प्राइस इंक्रीज हो गया, तो इससे क्या होगा कि लोग ज्यादा पेप्सी लेंगे, पीपल विल स्टार्ट बाइंग मोर पेप्सी एज देयर इज इंक्रीज इन द प्राइस ऑफ कोक. So this is what you call as substitution. Moving ahead, in other words, consumer will substitute Pepsi for Coke. This is called substitution effect. अच्छा, price effect, total price effect क्या हो रहा है? Is equal to income effect plus substitution effect. Law of diminishing marginal utility. This law states that when you start increasing the consumption of a particular commodity many times, or you start consuming it more and more, the amount of satisfaction and relief you get from that particular commodity starts to decrease. It will be more clear after I give an example. तो इसका मतलब कोई एक चीज जिसको हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, यूज कर रहे हैं, तो हमें जितनी संतुष्टि, जितना सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलता है, वो धीरे धीरे कम होने लगता है। जानते हैं कैसे? तो लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ मैंगोस, ओके? दिस इज द यूनिट, the other one is the total utility and marginal utility, okay? We express the satisfaction thing in utils in economics, ठीक है? ये utils से हम रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं हमें कितनी संतुष्टि मिलती है, दो इट्स नॉट एप्लीकेबल इन प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ, वी कैन मेजर आवर satisfaction in that. Okay, let's say I consume first mango. Since I'm hungry, I am very satisfied, so I say with the first mango I get 10 utils. Okay, with the second मैंगो खाने से मुझे 17 यूनिट्स सेटिस्फैक्शन मिला, दूसरे से मुझे मिलता है 21 यूनिट्स ऑफ सेटिस्फैक्शन, फोर्थ 22, नाइन्थ फिल। सिंस आई एम फुल, मेरा पेट भर चुका है, तो अब मुझे ज्यादा सेटिस्फैक्शन नहीं मिलेगा, इसीलिए जो अमाउंट ऑफ जो मैं बढ़ रहा है, पर जितना मैंने एक्सपेक्ट किया था उतना नहीं, 21 से 22। फिफ्थ वन, सिंस आई एम फुल, मेरा पेट पूरा भर चुका है, इसलिए मुझे सेटिस्फैक्शन नहीं मिल रहा, अब वो बंद हो गया, वो 22 में ही रह जाता है। जैसे मुझे 6 मैंगो शॉपकीपर ने जबरदस्ती दे दिया, अब मुझे खाना पड़ रहा है, तो मुझे अब इरिटेशन हो रहा है, मैं वॉमिट कर दूंगी, राइट? तो मेरा यूटिलिटी डिक्रीज हो जाता है 19। मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी हम कैसे निकालते हैं? यूटिलिटी रिसीव फ्रॉम द करंट यूनिट of a particular commodity minus the utility received earlier from that commodity. Clear? तो इसका मतलब लेट्स से 10, so since हमने पहले कोई मैंगो कंज्यूम नहीं किया था, so we will consider zero mango, zero unit of mangoes, zero utility, so marginal utility will also be zero. Next is 10, so current utility 10, previous utility 0, so 10 minus 0 10, 17 minus 10 7, 21 minus 3, 21 minus 17 4. Similarly, it goes on. So 1, 0, minus 3. So it is going to the negative sign. So we can understand from this particular example that diminishing marginal utility states that as we start consuming it more and more, our satisfaction decreases. It becomes lesser and lesser. Now, marginal utility of a commodity is equal to the price of the commodity. Very important. Now, for the first mango, I was ready to pay say 15 rupees. पहले मैंगो के लिए मैंने 15 रुपीज देना मैं दे सकती हूँ दिया मैंने but when I started consuming the second mango I told the shopkeeper that I will buy it for 13 rupees since I know I am full I'm almost getting full so I will say I will go to buy 13 rupees then for the third mango I am ready to pay 10 rupees since my satisfaction is about to decrease now I'm full for the fourth mango I am like overdose ठीक है so for the fourth mango I am ready to pay 7 rupees and for the fifth one I am ready to pay 5 rupees so as per my so what happens as per my satisfaction I will pay I will try to price the commodity as per my satisfaction मुझे जितना संतुष्टि मिल रहा है मैं उतना पैसा देने की कोशिश करूंगी ज्यादा नहीं ठीक है बस उतना तो इसका मतलब benefit is equal to cost. The amount of benefit we receive from a commodity is equal to the cost. जितना उसका प्राइस उतना ही हमें बेनिफिट मिलता है राइट दिस इज कॉल्ड लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग मार्जिनल यूटिलिटी